Hey, we're Saints. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Father Chris here. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. We are excited for today as we continue our study of the one thing needful. And we titled this week, It's All Boring, because I think we give a lot of attention to things that really aren't of great value. One of them being our ego. And I'm going to share with you a story when I put my ego ahead of the one thing needful. A while ago, during one of the meetings in my parish, there was a particular conversation that led into, it was a Bible study, and the conversation led into someone making a comment that, we don't like, when we're trying to draw near to Christ, we don't like to hear conversations about politics. And I understand that the point of that, because we're going to, as we'll see tomorrow, politics really is another thing that's really, if we look at it, kind of boring. But in the conversation, it hit me. I didn't bring it up. I have in the past, and the person, and some people in the parish and maybe out there in the world don't necessarily like that conversation and feel like it should be something that, is not in the context of a Bible study or within the church. I mean, we need to keep the church and state separate, and I agree with that to some degree. As I thought about it, here's the degree I don't agree, is that throughout the history of the world, or at least since the beginning of the church has spoken against certain things that affront our beliefs. And in my reaction, I was ready to say, well, look, here's what it is. The church has always done this and always said this and always said this. And I realized in the conversation that person has their own particular views and ideas. And the statement that they made ruffled my feathers. And that my ego, in recognizing why I think I was right and that person was incorrect, was really bruised. My ego was bruised. And I thought, well, that's boring. Who cares about my ego? Even I don't even really care about my ego, right? I'm here to teach, so just teach. Not everybody likes that. Not everybody understands it fully. Not everybody grasps it, agrees, whatever it may be. And that's their prerogative. And so why get yourself engaged in an argument, really, that's of no value? It's actually kind of boring. I have a job. Teach. Teach the gospel. Teach how to live a crucifixional life. As we said, many will accept that and embrace it, and this person certainly does. But some people won't, and that's okay. That is also their prerogative. But to feel an affront against my ego, in other words, my I, not my I, but my I, is really boring because I'm not really of great value. I mean, all people, all of us, are valuable to God, to other people in our lives, really, and we can offer value to the world. But we're not so important that how dare she affront me? How dare he say that to me? And as I thought about it, I was like, okay, this person didn't agree. It is what it is. Move forward. Don't get stuck in the mire of this mediocrity that's flooding me, and just teach. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. It became so freeing when I felt that. I realized that the preservation of my ego is actually a weakness on my part, and it's actually boring. And so I ended the conversation before I threw anything back at the person, and we moved forward. And I love the person, and the person that I think still loves me, and it's going to be great until both of us pass from this earth into the next life. So all of that led me to say, or to remember, the theme of our week, that there's only one thing needful. And that is the gospel of Jesus Christ, the gospel of the cross, crucifixional living. And so if we can recognize that we don't have to spend so much time protecting ourselves and our own egos, that we have space now to focus on the one thing needful. Remember our text from yesterday? Jesus was visiting the house of two sisters, Mary and Martha, and Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet, listening to his teaching. And Martha was distracted serving all the food and beverages. And she got irritated and said, Lord, make my sister help me. Why does she just get to sit there and I do all the work? And Jesus says the following, Martha, Martha, you're anxious and troubled about many things. Only one thing is needful, and Mary has chosen it. Right? He's telling us, all of those things matter. Even for Father Chris, my ego does matter to me, to my wife, maybe to you people, who knows. But it's not the one thing that is needful. The gospel of Jesus Christ, living a crucifixional life, that's the one thing that's needful. Focus there. Bring your attention there. And as I said a while ago when I was having this discussion with people at that Bible study, I was able, by God's grace, not by mine, but by God's grace, to turn my focus to being crucifixional and not engaging in that argument and not maybe saying something hurtful to someone or having something more hurtful said to me. Just leave it there. It's boring and move on. And thank God I was able to do so. So when I say to you it's boring, I know things are interesting. You're going to see tomorrow some of the things that really have consumed us in the world. They're really at their core, they're not as of great value as the one thing needful. In order to focus on that, to be attentive where we need to be, I want to encourage you to join us in our movement. We've started a movement we call the Way of the Warrior Saint. It's the Warrior Saints movement. It's an army of God-fearing men and women who are striving to live crucifixional lives so that we can keep our focus where we need to be. And you know what? When you do that, God will fill your life. The gospel will fill your field of vision through which you see all things, and you're going to start to see yourself becoming the best man, the best woman that you can be. But you don't have to do that alone. That's why I want to encourage you to visit us at warriorsaints.org. When you get there, you're going to have a couple of options, things you can participate in. The first one is you can get our book, which is fun. We enjoy it. It's doing really well. I'm so thankful. It's called as well, The Way of the Warrior Saint. It's a great supplement. You can also, and this is most important, subscribe to the Way of the Warrior Saint library. And the library is just filled with teachings to help us as we are striving to leave that mediocrity behind and become the very best that we can be. Love you, beautiful people. We're going to be back again tomorrow to talk about one of the most boring things, in my opinion. And until then, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.